Well, let's see. The little hand is on the 9, and the big hand is on the 12. I think that means it's time to start. So, Roger Wilco, we will do that. All right, let's check the old input volume here. Keeps changing on me, so I'm checking it before each episode. A little bit irritating, actually, but at least I know what the problem was. Hey, happy Thursday, everybody. Looks like we got a few here already. Let's see. Suzanne, Brian, Frank, Alan, Marianne. Hope you guys are having a nice Thursday night. So check this out. Doing something. This is just an experiment. I doubt I'll do this every time, but there you go. Thought you might appreciate a glimpse of my office tonight. So I've got another camera on the bookshelf across the room. I've got my cat over there drinking water, keeping an eye on the camera for me. How's it going, Jupiter? Monty's being moody today. Yeah, film noir. You know why? It's unnatural light can be so cruel when you're old. So yeah, I don't know that I'll do this each time, but I just thought it'd be fun to try it. So yeah, here's my office, at least this corner where the desk and everything is. So how's everybody doing? Anybody have to work tomorrow morning? Staying up late just for me? Uh, Jeff Thomas, are you lying in bed with the phone to your ear? Jeff Thomas was here for the 50th episode last Thursday night, as you guys know, and I love chatting with him. Been friends for a long time. But he said something that, hey, Kim, sounds robotic. Does it sound robotic to anybody else? Do I sound like R2D2 or C3PO? That's the question. Let me make sure I'm on the correct. Pardon my. Yeah, yeah. A little reverb. You know what? I'll bet that is the other camera. So I'm going to kill it. Give me a second. All right, it's dead. It is dead. Well, like I said, it was an experiment. Whatever. All right. Reverb gone. I hope it's gone. Otherwise, I did all that for nothing. Let me know. I wish I could blame it on Windows, but actually, I have Linux. So, no more reverb? Okay, thanks, Brian. All right. Where were we before we were? Oh, it's still there? Oh, what the hell's going on? I don't get it. And volume is off there. Let me check something. You'll definitely hear a little bit reverb here. Off there. Let me check something. You'll definitely hear a little bit reverb here. Maybe it's still coming from my phone. Well, like I said, it was an experiment, so that's why it's called an experiment, right? Because we don't know if it's going to work or not. All right, let me know if that did the trick. Sure as hell hope it did. Check my audio again. I hope there's no first-time listeners because, yep, see the audio went down. Hope there's no first-time listeners because if there is, they're like, What the hell? I'm watching a show about a guy fixing his audio. All right, guys. How's the audio now? Okay? Decent? Let me know. If it's not, I'll have to fix it between now and Sunday. So, yeah, definitely let me know. He stares at the chat intently. I need feedback, people. Feedback. All right. Let's see here. Oh, if you are not aware. Okay, good. Thanks, Kim. That's what it was. It was the experiment. It was the experiment. The experiment has gone wrong. We won't repeat it. We will never speak of this again. It didn't happen. All right. Thanks for the feedback, though. Seriously, guys, and for your patience. Um, if you're not aware of the email alerts, you can get a reminder on the day that I'm doing an episode. Just if you're not on the email alerts, just it's in the show notes. Just scroll down a little bit, and you can unsubscribe at any time. And the most the emails you'll get a week is 3 because that's the number of podcasts I usually do in a week. So volume good too. Boy, I was torqued Sunday. I did that interview with Todd Kiesling, and I played it back in my volume. My volume was lower than everybody else's. Still listenable, but not not good. I didn't appreciate it. Um, but I did figure out what the problem was with that. All right, if you haven't left by now, while we've been going over the volume, uh, email alerts, yeah. Um, New horror anthology coming out. Let's get some light on this. That's pretty cool, huh? In September the 2nd, I believe, another anthology by Ellen Datlow. It's called Night and Day, and as you can see, that's pretty cool, huh? And then, you know, but if you flip it, so that's pretty cool. The synopsis. One side featuring stories about what haunts the night, while the other showcases the terrors that can exist in the light of day. Night, dreadful dark, tales of nighttime horror, and day, merciless sun, tales of daylight. Got authors like Clay McLeod Chaplin, Stephen Graham Jones, Gemma Files, Nathan Bellingred's in there. That's on the night side, Josh Mellerman, and others. On the day side, we've got Rachel Harrison, Brian Evanson, Jeffrey Ford. He's such a great guy. I love that guy. Karen Warren, Sophie White, and others. So it's pretty cool. I like that. I haven't had a chance to read it. It just arrived yesterday, but you know what I always say about an Ellen Datlow. Um, Anthology. Just don't even put any thought into it. Just if you see her name on it, just pick it up because it's bound to be good. All right. Sounds still good, everybody? Let me know. So anyway, I was talking about Jeff. It was a great time last Thursday. And then one of the things he said that really, I told my wife about it. Actually, I think she was watching last last Thursday. But Jeff said something to the effect of it feeling like, late night radio talk show, like a late night radio talk show. And he talked about most Thursday nights he's laying there in bed listening to it on his phone, I think he said. And the feeling of listening to it live, but also being connected to everyone else, listening to it live, alone but not alone. Um, so yeah, that's exactly what I was going for, is my point. So I'm just so glad to hear that people out there see it that way. Let me know if you guys are still there and that I'm not talking to myself. So thank you, Jeff, if you're listening. Thank you for that. All right. I I've had the We're not here. Okay, thanks. Um, I've had the Lovecraft Easing website slash blog for almost 15 years now, which is how long I've been doing this. And the last few months to a year, there have been fewer blog posts, and I want to correct that with not just more by me, but more by others that are in the easing Lovecraft easing tribe, so to speak. Um, it's got it's got a mailing list that every time I post something, I don't remember, about 5 or 6 thousand people um, get an email alert saying there's a new post. So it's got a large readership. Um, Brian says it's like a radio talk show, but people are texting in rather than calling in. Yeah, exactly. Anyway, my point is, uh, if anyone listening feels like contributing the occasional article or review or you know whatever that's that fits within the horror genre, um, let me know. Email me. Hey, Dave, how's it going, man? Just email me, lovecrafteasing at gmail.com, lovecraftezine at gmail, and let me know that you're interested in contributing the occasional article. Obviously, if you have a website or book or whatever, we would prominently include that with each article. Um, so it would definitely get you some uh, attention. Put it that way. I don't want to be one of those guys who says, write for me and I can't pay you, but you will definitely get, you know, it's good for you in promotion. But in this case, the fact is that it's true, the promotion part. And if anyone wants to get paid per article, many people have told me, well, not many, I just started putting this call out a few days ago, have said that, they're fine. They just want to do it to contribute to the Lovecraft easing. But if you want to get paid, please let me know and I'll do whatever I can. But I'm primarily interested in people that, like you guys, who are just part of the tribe, um, and want to contribute their voice to it. So just email me and let me know. I will, if you contribute, I will send you a WordPress invite, and you can write the articles right on the Lovecraft Easing WordPress. I don't know, system, whatever, and I'll look it over and then click the publish button. So let me know. Um, Speaking of people in our tribe, um, I've mentioned this before, but I want to mention it again. I'm looking it up. Mike DeBronzo is one of the panelists, and on Sundays, and he's going through a hard time right now, due to circumstances totally beyond his control. and he's trying to get back on his feet. He just needs the money to get he needs some money to get his car in good working order. And he's been working as an architect for a number of years on his own, self-employed, been working from home, but work has really died down for him, and he needs to go get, I guess, a regular job in that field. But to do that, he's got to be able to drive there. He's got to have interview appropriate clothes, and that takes money. So I just posted the GoFundMe. If you can help him out, I mean, even a little bit helps. Definitely helps him emotionally too. And if you can't, that's fine. It's a tough time for a lot of us right now. But I wanted to mention it because he's a good guy and he deserves the help. Um, so you remember the movie In the Mouth of Madness? Of course you do. Well, uh, that fictional book, I guess, or version of it, is finally coming out. It's in October, close to Halloween. I'm going to have the publisher on, and around that time, and I don't have the link handy, but it's up for pre-order. Just Google Sutter Kane and In the Mouth of Madness. See, I think I've got it on here. If I can show you the cover. He sent me a digital copy. Yeah, here it is. And I've read some of it. I'm enjoying it so far. There we go. You get the idea. In the Mouth of Madness, Sutter Kane. Yeah, I'm enjoying it so far, which is kind of a relief because that's a lot of pressure. That's a big buildup. Um, and if it wasn't good, be quite the letdown. But it is so far. Um, Hello, Hollower87. Do I know you? I probably do, but I don't know who you are based on that ID. Thanks, Alan. Anyway, I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it. Alan, if you had a chance to look at it yet, he okayed me sending it to the panelists too, um, which I know are all of our um, TBR piles are huge. Let's see here. We got a couple chapters. Well, Danielle and Logan are out of town. They're visiting Danielle's sister in Florida again. They're doing a lot of they're babysitting our grand niece and nephews a lot, which is basically our nephew and his wife's kids, Danielle's sister's son. And they're just little kids and they love Danielle and Logan. And the little boy just sticks to Logan like glue whenever they're there. They drove down there the other day, 14-hour drive. Wow. And they'll be there for a few more days yet. But they're having a great time, but I miss them. You know, they'll be back next Tuesday. So, Hollower says that same author also did Session 9 into a novel, which was really good. I did not know that. Wow. Let's let's look that up on the World Wide Web. That was a great movie. Session 9, the official novelization. It's only $6.99 on Kindle. When did that come out? Let's see here. Oh, it was last year. Sending that sample to my Kindle right now, by God. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. I appreciate letting us know. Huh. looks like most people agree that he did a good job um, with the novelization. Somebody by the name of Christian Francis, Brad Anderson. Wow, several authors. Oh, Christian Francis is the guy who wrote the novelization based on the screenplay by Brian Anderson and Stephen Grievedon. So, yeah, you're welcome, Dave. Dave says thanks for having Jeffrey on. Now, I know the thought behind Thursday nights is uh, for me just talking to you guys. But here's my question. Do you guys want me to do that more often? Have someone on Thursday nights? It would just one other person at the most. I don't want to turn it into a copy of Sunday nights. Um, I could do that. Maybe I'll do a poll, but just right now, for those watching live, I could do every other Thursday. I could do one Thursday a month. Whatever. I'm curious to know what you guys think. Um, did I tell you guys? Did I tell you guys about the kittens in the backyard? Okay, Brian, Frank, what do you guys think about how often? One Thursday a month? Yeah, I think that feels right. That sounds about right. Um, anyway, had this cat. I named her Socks. She's black fur with these white paws, and we've been feeding her for a while, maybe close to a year, I guess. And about a month ago, Danielle and I saw 5 kittens, and Socks has been always so skinny that we're like, that must be Socks' babies. But how in the hell did she have babies? We didn't even know she was pregnant. And she is a good mom. Those kittens are so damn cute. Oh, thanks, Kim. Yeah, they are so cute. Um, got some photos if I can show them to you. I don't know if I can or not. Proton. I think I can. But there are 5 of them. Like I said, there's two gray, one black, and one that's sort of gray and white, and another one that's black and white. So, and I don't know. I'm gonna overuse the word cute here, but man, it's just insane. Keep toning him. All right, there we go. Tell me if that works. Evidently it didn't. Share screen. Let's do that. Yeah, I'm all up in this Zoom technology. Give me a second. Um, Screen share. There we go. I should probably try that button called screen share. Go there. Share. There we go. I'll bet that did it. Nope, it's just showing. It's just showing a black screen. Oh well. Try one more thing. Try it on my phone. As soon as my phone turns back on. That's Zoom's been a little annoying lately. Anyway, yeah, they're doing great, Kim. Thanks. Uh, they were underneath our car that's not working, like for the first few days, and then it's like Socks just realized that, hey, this guy in that office there, he's he's a softie. I bet if I bring my kids over here, he'll take care of them, which is exactly what happened. Of course, I was feeding them there, but she brought them over here during the day. Mostly they sleep under the bookhouse, close to the edge to get out of the heat. Um, but at night, they're always running around the yard, chasing bugs. it's a fenced yard, and over where my office, the bookhouse is, it's kind of secluded from the street, I guess would be the word. Hi, Jupiter. Hi. What's up? Uh, you've got a wooden privacy fence on one side between me and the neighbor, and then you've got the bookhouse, and then got the rest of the yard, which is quite a ways to the driveway and to the street. So they're pretty safe. And every morning I bring them I bring them their the dry food, and then I give them canned cat food twice a day. And of course, in this weather, you just walked on my computer. In this weather, hi. Uh, got to make sure that the water is always full in their water bowl, because it gets getting up to 95 a day here. Hi. Say hi to the crowd. Man, a year ago, I first met Jupiter, and he was he was tinier than they are now. Now he's not the father, but he acts like a uncle to them, or a big brother. He really takes care of them. This cat, Danielle told me this cat, this is a rare, but this cat came in the yard the other day and started tackling Socks, their mom, and Danielle heard her yelling and went out there, and Jupiter heard it. She said he came tearing around the corner, and there were actually two cats, she said, and he did a flying tackle on both of them and kicked their ass out of the yard. I wish I wish I would have seen it. But I told him he was a superhero. I was so proud of him. Um, so yeah. Um, is my phone on yet? There we go. It's warming up. I'll see if I can get you guys a photo. If not, I'll post it on. I'll post it later on this channel. You know, just the community section. So anyway, that is the kitten update. Let's see if we got anything that'll translate to the camera here. Nope. Nope. Oops. That's a big nope. Well, I'll take my word for it. They're very cute. And I'll post this on the channel later. I'm back on Facebook, which is to say, I'm posting something every great once in a while, but I'm not on social media much. I post a lot of Lovecraft easing stuff, but not really personal social media all that much. But if posting pictures of kittens is not what social media is for, then what are we all doing here? Right? Oh, I've never mentioned this before. As you guys probably know, I'm from Iowa, and this is an Iowa company that's been around for several decades, maybe more than that. But it's just a small company, and now it's had a website for a while, and I don't know how to describe it. It's just it's art with these cool sayings on them, and they've got greeting cards too, and it's just it sounds like I'm describing Hallmark, but it's different. So here's a card here. Imagine a world where we listen to everyone's stories and learn we are not as different as we are the same. Let's find another one here. Oh, okay. There is still time to build a world of peace, of easy words and bright rooms, where everywhere we go, will still be home. And this might be my favorite. I used to believe if I prepared hard enough and long enough, I would be ready when I needed to be. But now I think the closest any of us really get to being ready is feeling not ready and then doing it anyway. I've always believed that, and when I start something new, my thought is, some people, they can prepare and prepare and prepare, and somehow the project never gets started. My preference is prepare a bit, as much as I can, reasonably, but start the project and just realize that I'll learn along the way. I did that with the Lovecraft easing. I mean, I sure do wish that I know everything now that I knew, 15 years ago when I started, but that's not the way it works. And it's on the job training. Same thing with whatever you do, writing a book or, hell, raising a family, being a parent. No one's ever ready to be a parent. It's definitely on the job training. Did I mention Superman last Thursday or last Sunday? Because if I did, I won't mention it again. Oh, Alan says, does the book house have a crawl space or is it on raised blocks? It's on it's on raised blocks or something. It's only about 6 inches off the ground, maybe a little bit more, Alan. So that's where they go when it storms or when it's too hot. Like I said, at night they're always out here playing tag with each other and chasing bugs. It's so cute. Oh man, even Jupiter. Last night he was out with the little ones and he started chasing this bug. All of a sudden he jumps like I swear 5 feet in the air. It was it was cool. It was funny. It's so cool. But yeah, let me know if I talked about Superman because I don't want to bore you guys. Be an old man and tell stories the same stories over and over again. I'm in the middle of rereading. I'm guessing for about the thousandth time, Sherlock Holmes story. Oh, you saw it again? That good, huh? Yeah, I liked it. Kelly was asking me about it today, and he said, "I know you weren't. I know you weren't the biggest fan of James Gunn. So, what did you think of the movie?" And I said, I went into it with an open mind, um, and I really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. I think once I got past my mindset always is with this stuff. Okay, it's real world, but this happened, right? Which is how Zack Snyder approached Man of Steel. All right, this is the real world. What would happen if an alien landed here and was raised by an American family, and then what would happen? And he, in an interview a long time ago, I saw him talking about Superman 78, which is fantastic, obviously. And he said, in the interview with Lois Lane asks Superman where he's from, and he says, "Well, I'm from really far away, another galaxy, planet called Krypton." And she goes, "Oh, Krypton," and asks him how to spell it. There's no, oh my gosh, there's life on other planets, nothing like that. It just got skipped. And he said, if Superman really arrived in the real world, that's the first thought that would hit our minds. We're not the only intelligent species in the universe. This is great. And then what else might happen after that? If there were other survivors and they weren't really that nice, they might come after this guy. Um, so it was a very realistic approach, barring the alien Superman stuff. With the new Superman movie, I had to mentally get myself out of it's basically a comic book on screen. Maybe a little bit more, I say goofy, but I don't mean that negatively, uh, than today's DC comics. But then again, there is a crypto in this in today's Superman comics, and there has been for a while, for years. There is a Green Lantern, a Hawk Girl, Mr. Terrific. He was great, by the way, and so forth. And so I thought, yeah, yeah, okay, you're in this world, and then I just really enjoyed it. I did it first. I may not think this on second viewing, but I did at first think, wow, I feel like I'm in a James Gunn version of Zack Snyder, that he's trying to do a Zack Snyder with the first third of this film, which was a little depressing because they're just Lex Luthor is doing everything he can to destroy Superman's reputation and more. Uh, but it was necessary. And then at the end of the movie, I'm cheering inside as those as that the, are the as those people are yelling out Superman, raising a Superman flag, asking him to come save him, and yeah, it's a really 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 fun movie, and I guess I never thought I'd say this, but I'm looking forward to seeing what James Gunn comes up with. I do like he was talking about, I don't know if this is if it's for sure or not, but a Clayface movie, and he said something to the effect that not all DC movies will be lighthearted like Superman. I mean, Clayface, he said, would be a horror movie essentially. I really like that. So I think he's doing it his way, but he's doing it his way thoughtfully. And uh, we have a very bright young Superman who's full of hope, and that's what we need, you know. So I really liked it. I might even go see it again in the theater. Um, I don't get me wrong. What I can't stand is fans who it seems like it has to be an either or with them. I like Zack Snyder's DC movies, so therefore James Gunn can't do anything right, or vice versa. I like each one of them for what they are and what they're trying to accomplish. Um, so Kelly said he thought it was the best film since Superman 78, which, um, yeah, it could be very subjective. I like Superman 2 better, but that could just be nostalgia talking, you know. So I can't count how many times I've seen Superman and Superman 2. But anyway, I was saying I read I'm reading for the 100th time another Sherlock Holmes story, The Adventure of the Second Stain. And there's something about reading Sherlock Holmes, for me anyway, that's very comforting, like comfort food reading, you know? And it was it was first published in 1904, so wow, 121 years ago. This story's been around for 121 years. People have been reading it and the other stories since, the entire 20th century almost, through World War I, World War II, the 50s, 60s, 70s. It's mind-boggling, and it's still entertaining. The My favorite Sherlock Holmes TV adaptations are the Jeremy Brett series from the 80s and early 90s. He's the definitive Holmes as far as I'm concerned, and I can appreciate other adaptations for what they are, Although I can't get into the Nigel Bruce ones, not because I don't like him, but because they paint Watson as this bumbling buffoon, which he's not. He was a very smart guy. He was an actor and a writer. Um, you know, I like Sherlock a lot. I haven't really gotten too much into the Robert Downey movies. Um, I like Sherlock. I liked Elementary, which is Sherlock Holmes in modern day New York. I did not think I would like that one actually, um, because it's not set in London, um, and so on. But I liked it a lot. Alan says I enjoyed the new TV show Sherlock and Daughter. There's a new TV show. Better write that down. Sherlock and Daughter. Huh. Is Watson in that? There's a TV show called Watson, by the way, which I haven't seen either, but I hear is set after Holmes is dead. Modern day again, I think. Oh, David Thewlis. I'm sure he's good. Yeah, he's a good actor. Um, I'll tell you one thing about the Superman movie, though, Alan. Uh, no Watson. It's part of the mystery. Hmm, that sounds interesting. Uh, oh, Superman. They they did miss a golden opportunity, though, Alan, because Miss Tessmarker is in the new Superman movie, and I was waiting the whole time for Lex to scream Miss Tessmarker at her like he did in Superman 78. Oh, but all right. I also wanted to talk to you guys about another book that I left over here. Yeah. Okay. Sorry about that. All right, this book's called Dark Water. There's no Kindle version, but it's a really good anthology of some classic weird fiction. It's published in 1983. I got the book when it was not as expensive. I guess supply and demand has worked its magic. And but a lot of these, whoa, there we go. Am I back? All right. Sorry about that. This is a direct result of my experiment with the other camera. So I guess we know not to try that again, huh? Anyway, as I was saying, there are a lot of stories in here that are in the public domain. So I was thinking I could start on Tuesday nights when I read horror. Oops, I could read some of the stories in this book. So I think maybe I will do that. Pick out some some of them. If you can't afford it, it's definitely a good one for your weird fiction shelf. So yeah, the got a forward 1982. Conrad, this is the end of the forward. Conrad, in a text unworthy of Conrad, said that he did not write fantastic tales because writing them would be denying that life itself is fantastic. But that is not so. On the contrary, a truly good, fantastic story will echo that which escapes explanation in life. It will prove, in fact, that life is fantastic. It will point to that which lies beyond our dreams and fears and delights. It will deal with the invisible, with the unspoken. It will not shirk from the uncanny, the absurd, the impossible. In short, it has the courage of total freedom. And before each story, there are a few notes, paragraph or two. Got some stories by Edith Wharton, Rudyard Kipling, Ray Bradbury, of course. That won't be in the public domain. Mr. Anonymous. M.R. James, of course. Charles Dickens. Flann O'Brien. D.H. Lawrence. Sylvina Ocampo. Cynthia Ozick. And so on. It's a doorstopper. So yeah, check that out. I will be recording a deep background episode with Victor Laval on Wednesday, August the 6th. And I'll have it up, a couple days after that on the Patreon. If you're not familiar with this, it's a Patreon podcast series that I do with writers and creators about their life, what the choices that they made that made them who they are today, and their influences, not just literary influences, but influences in their personal life. For example, I did one with Paul Tremblay a couple weeks ago, and he one of the turning points in his life that propelled him in the direction of writing is he was never a big reader for a while, and then his wife gave him a Stephen King book just because she thought he'd like it, and that was a big influencing event for him. So things like that. I'm really proud of that series. I really enjoy doing those interviews, and I think that the Patreons really enjoy them as well. So if you're not a Patreon, you get all that and more at just $5 a month. So you get a lot for $5 a month, and it really helps me out. So Sherlock and Superman, Kim, not sure if that's happening, but Sherlock and Batman met in Detective 572. Is that the one where him and the elongated man meet Batman, or excuse me, meet Sherlock Holmes when he's really, really old? He discovered and Watson is long dead. But I remember that, and Ralph wants to ask him so many questions, and Batman tells him that he deserves his privacy. Man, it's been a long time since I read that. Oh, wow, I remembered it pretty well. I'm gonna look that issue up on DC Universe. Detective Comics 572. Okay. Thanks for watching. We're gonna have Ian Rogers on the show this Sunday. Next week, we're going to the panelists and I are going to do the next story in the H.P. Lovecraft story discussion. We're going to talk about the Cats of Ulthar. So we're recording it on Tuesday, and I'll have it up later next week. So if you are a Patreon, thanks, because you keep stuff like that going. Yeah. Hey, Jeff. Yeah, Ian is great. And he's really talented and really, really nice guy. So, um, so yeah, he'll be on. All right, everybody. I'm gonna go read some more and maybe eat something and just sit around and wish my family was home. But thanks for supporting me. Thanks for spending part of your Thursday night with me. And I will see you guys on Sunday, okay? Thanks. Good night.